Hello everyone and welcome back into another video and welcome back into one of the, well, the most interesting Nations Cup races that I've had. And in this one, I had absolutely no pace. I started in P16, as you probably noticed. This was the first slot. Of course, it's the top split, but starting last isn't really a good thing, like ever. So, my start was kind of okay. I really tried to stay clean. I did stay clean, but then I decided to do something that completely changed this race. I tried to go on the outside of this corner, but these cars have absolutely no grip when you're in dirty air. And this is exactly what happened. I lost the car, I went wide, and on top of that I had so much damage that the car was almost undrivable. Which means that if you get a penalty in here or if you get any kind of damage, your race is pretty much over. So I decided to pit lap 1 because we had 2 mandatory stops, and in the end I hope that everything is gonna be okay. But with the damage, I had just about 8 seconds worth of damage. I decided to repair it because there is no point of eventually getting onto the track back again with damage. So I finished this one in P14, which definitely wasn't the best thing. And then I went into the second slot. I qualified a little bit better, so P11 at this point. I made a couple of mistakes. It could have been actually a pretty decent lap, but of course a couple of mistakes and there it is. So for this one, I tried going on the outside of turn 1, which can work, but in this case it kind of worked. So I think I didn't leave him really that much space and just a little hit, and I had again damage. It's a minor damage, but still it's damage, so it's going to slow me down in the long run. So once again I have to pit to repair the car, and then this happened. I think I gave him more than enough space on the outside, and I even had to look at the replay later, so I think it was actually okay from my side, so you guys can be the judge. Once again, as I said, I had to look at the replay, so this was this damage that I had. I think I should have left him a little bit more room. It was just a slight hit and I picked damage, which is, yeah, it's really annoying, to be honest. And also this move, I don't know if it was lag or something like that, but I don't think we even touched in this corner. So not exactly sure what happened in here, but it was again a slight contact, or at least that's what happened to his car. So in general, the start was kind of okay. I picked up a spot. Everything was looking, well, it was looking kind of okay. A lot better than the previous one, but it's still, I mean, I need to pit in the first lap, which is going to compromise my strategy in the long run. So my strategy actually was to pit early and just to avoid all of the traffic. So in this case, 2 mandatory stops, a couple of possible strategies, but to me, I just wanted to avoid traffic and drive in clean air, because dirty air, as you probably can see, is really bad with this car. So it's incredibly bad when you get just about half a second close to someone, and it's almost impossible to control the car in that situation unless you have much better tires and well, you brake a lot earlier in general. So I decided to pit, and then I realized once again I had 3 seconds worth of damage, which I thought, yeah, you can see the expression on my face. No, like 3 seconds is a little bit too much for that, but okay, I decided to carry on. We were both ghosted in here, all 3 of us actually, and well, I got 1 place, I lost 1 place, but in total I think I lost just about 2 places in this corner alone. So even later, 3 seconds is, well, 3 seconds is actually quite a lot on this circuit. So this car also had an amazing or tremendous amount of understeer, but it was also very interesting in first gear. So it rotates really well in first gear, but if you put the power down too soon and if the rear wheel starts spinning out, you will also be spinning out. So it was incredibly difficult to drive. Again, the guy in front of me had a penalty. It was just a half a second, but it allowed me to move up 1 place. So it was kind of okay from my perspective. I tried really carrying on. I really tried getting the best out of this, which is difficult when the race starts like that. And this was the important part. The important part, once again, was not to lose any more places. And I knew if I get stuck in traffic in here, my race is pretty much over, and I had absolutely no chances even to finish in the top 10. So it was kind of okay from this end. I tried to stay in the slipstream, which is again pretty difficult, but on the straight you can pick up a little bit of time, but in the corners then you start really losing a lot of that time due to the dirty air, which again, it's quite interesting here. And now the Spaniard made this mistake, which allowed me to move one more place up into P12. So it was half a second penalty for him. I decided to stay in the slipstream, upshift, because I didn't want to risk of getting damaged. And then when he upshifted, I gave him a little push and actually got back into the slipstream. So even a slight step can mean that you will get damage, and in this one it was heavy damage, which means the car isn't going to repair itself until you pit. So you have to pit to repair the car. So this is in GT1 leagues. In GT2 and GT3, I believe this is actually light damage and the car actually repairs itself. So once again, I'm back on the track, and then I see the Italian. I don't know what happened to him, but I completely lost focus. I didn't cover this inside of this corner, but I wasn't about to let this go. So I mean, let's just brake late. Let's see if I can keep this place. I did brake. It was actually pretty good. Third gear on the way out, stabilized the car, and I successfully defended my place. It was kind of a dive, but again, it was also a dive from his side. So I don't know what happened to the Italian, but he simply lost control of the car, I guess, and couldn't control it anymore and ended up in the gravel there. So yeah, it was quite interesting. It was really interesting at this point, and pitting in lap 12 was kind of the strategy. I wish I kind of extended my stint by a lap or two more, because with the lighter car you were eventually a little bit quicker overall. But in the end, it was okay. I changed the tires, I refueled the car, and once again I was in clean air, which is usually a good thing here because you don't lose that much performance and you don't lose that much time if you're fighting someone. So lap 15, everyone, well, I think not everyone, but most of the guys in front of me already done their stops. So this means that I have a potential one place that I can get in this lobby, which, considering all the things that happened with the damage, with the start, and pretty much with everything, it's kind of okay. But then I realized that where is No getting all of his speed? So the leader of this race was getting an insane amount of speed through the corners, and I just couldn't keep up. So now you can see that he's actually having a lowest point, or he's just decreasing the speed through the middle of the corner just to get on the way out a little bit faster, which means that in the middle of the corner he's going to brake more, straighten up the car as much as he can, and get onto the power sooner, which I didn't do. So to be honest and to be fair with you, I did just about 30 minutes of practice for this race. He probably practiced for a lot more, so of course it's going to make a lot of difference, but I never thought I was going to be so much off the pace in this one. So I think this analysis really shows that he is getting speed in, well, I would say tight turns, and he's also getting onto the power a lot sooner than I am. So you can see I'm waiting a little bit more. He's also, or he's already on the 100% of power, and this really helps him to move this car around, and especially this corner. So this was this was the biggest difference, and I think I was losing just about 2/10 in this corner. So he was braking insanely late, decreasing the speed up till this point, and on the way out he was able to get the speed out of this whole corner. So I think the crucial element, the crucial point is to brake more in the straight line and then decrease the speed of the car, and only then start turning in. So if you start turning in a little bit sooner, which I did in my case, this means that I will have an additional amount of understeer, which of course it's not good. So I think for this one I should have been practicing a little bit more. I should have analyzed these mistakes or my mistakes to get a better result, but in the end it was actually a P9 because the Greek didn't do 2 stops. I think he only did 1 stop in this race, so it was in the top 10. And by the end of the day I realized that this was actually a pretty good considering the amount of practice that I've done, and to be fair, I think I have to practice a lot more if I want to get a decent result in a lobby like this one. So I guess the solution for next one would be more practice and actually analyzing my own mistakes. And of course guys, if you are interested, you can go check out my new online course, which is going to be in the description of this video. So once again, thank you very much for watching, and until the next time, bye.